Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 finally came out, but has left us with more questions than answers. What happened to the supposed friendship between Catnap and the prototype? Are we wrong with our theories, or is there something else that this chapter is hiding from us? Actually, there's an answer, so get ready to understand this confusing ending of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Many of us had the theory that Catnap and Prototype were actually allies, and Poppy was actually the villain. But after the ending of Chapter 3, nothing makes sense anymore. But to understand all of this mess, let's start by explaining the Hour of Joy. Poppy starts telling us the true story of what happened during this hour, and explains how the toys started attacking all the workers at Playtime Co. It doesn't matter if they were good, bad, or innocent, they practically caused a massacre. The strangest thing is not that the prototype was responsible for all of this. The interesting question here is, how did he manage to communicate with all the toys? To solve this question, I can't think of anything logical. The only thing that comes to mind is that the prototype actually has some kind of telepathy or a chip that helps him connect with the other toys, thus manipulating and persuading them to do what the prototype wants. This is how he could communicate with each and every one of them without needing to be present. Because if we think about it, all the toys, including both small and large, attacked at the same time, and the workers didn't even have time to defend themselves. Another possibility we can consider is that there had to be some kind of signal to know when to attack, something that made as much noise to alert all the toys and make them attack. At this point, I believe that a large toy should have attacked first. This would serve as the signal for all the others to know that it was time for the massacre. And I know you're thinking the same thing as me. That toy is Huggy Wuggy, as we can see on the security cameras how Huggy Wuggy starts attacking all the workers and staff. This toy is large enough to cause a scandal and trigger all the alarms. And to confirm this, let's not forget his jump scare. Because if we remember, after the first deaths occurred inside Playtime, all the alarms went off and gave the following message. So for this reason, I believe, and I'm almost sure, that Huggy Wuggy was the one who initiated the Hour of Joy. That way, all the toys would be alert, and the prototype's plan would be a success. But hold on, because here begins the most confusing part of the whole chapter. We know that this was the prototype's main objective, to finish off everyone inside Playtime Co. and leave the toys. But being so intelligent, he also realized that in a short time, the toys would run out of food. Perhaps this is the real reason why the prototype feels responsible for feeding the toys in Project Playtime. But the truth is, after what he did to Catnap, I'm not sure if I can trust the prototype anymore. Although maybe the truth is, Catnap's death is possibly just the beginning of something bigger that the prototype is planning. And since we're talking about Catnap, it's time to analyze why the prototype decided to kill him. We all were convinced that these two had a very loyal and faithful friendship. Because if we remember, the prototype risked everything to save Catnap before he was turned into a toy, and for this reason, Catnap was eternally grateful to the prototype. So why did he betray him? We all might think that this event simply doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to explain you why it does. Catnap would do anything so that the prototype's plans weren't affected. He was willing to do anything for him, even if it meant dying. That's how grateful Catnap was. We know that he did the impossible to exterminate each and every one of the toys that were against the prototype's ideas. He even became so ruthless that he didn't even care about giving the worst punishment to his best friend Dog Day. He took care of exterminating the smiling critters so that the prototype's plan would continue, and Catnap's death possibly means the continuation of the prototype's plan. Many thought that the truth behind Catnap's death was simply because he betrayed the prototype, but I'm very convinced that Catnap knew very well what followed from the plan, and of course, it would not be anything good. Because even Catnap himself warns us to leave or he'll come to kill us. The next thing that doesn't add up is that despite Catnap doing all those things for the prototype simply shows no kind of gratitude to the purple kitten, and still ends up killing him. But what if this is his way of thanking him for everything he has done for him? Let's remember that the prototype was the one who helped Theodore, the boy behind Catnap. And another thing we also have to remember is that the prototype seems to love all the toys. So it still makes no sense why the prototype decided to kill Catnap. But it seems that we're forgetting about something. If we remember, in the trailer they showed us about Chapter 3, this strange structure that the prototype was building appeared. And at the end of this Chapter 3, the prototype seems to trick Catnap into thinking that he's his friend. And when he tries to help him, he lifts him up and ruthlessly pierces him, causing Catnap's death. This only led me to think that the prototype had planned to include Catnap in his mysterious creation, thus thanking him for everything Catnap did for him, and probably Catnap was already aware that this would happen, as he never seemed to distrust the prototype. And the reason why Catnap warned us to leave Playtime is because the plan that the prototype has with Player is to keep him alive. Because, since the first appearance of the prototype, he practically ignores us, and at this point, let's not forget that the letter that supposedly Poppy sent us was not actually her, but rather the prototype, as Poppy was locked up. So it was actually Experiment 1006 who brought us to the company. And now, with all this, it seems that the prototype is hiding more mysteries from us that we have not yet discovered. Because first, he caused the massacre during the Hour of Joy. Then, he worried about the toys so they would have something to eat. But inevitably, they ended up killing each other and eating each other. And with this lastest chapter, he simply killed his most loyal companion. What is the prototype really planning? Why do you think he is creating that massive thing that we saw in the trailer? Definitely we have way more mysteries to solve thanks to this chapter. But tell me guys, what are your opinions on this? Leave your theories in the comments.